Howdy everyone, it's me once again, the one and only Killerrodan. And today, I figured I'll just upload something on this channel. I'll post a link down below for my second channel where I'll be talking about movies and such. And for Elvis as well, if you're interested in some games related topics, I guess? Videos, whatever you can call it. Because he does a lot of game stuff. And the links for both channels will be posted down below. So let's get started, shall we? So I just want to talk about this dumbass subject matter over here. Wokeism is destroying the industry when it comes to television. Well, at least the more modern television. I guess it's referring to some ads or something. And okay, and you're already just annoying the hell out of me. So again, as you can see, I'm talking about something incredibly stupid. And I'm not gonna be one of those people that gets annoyed with being inclusive and whatnot. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm not gonna be one of those people that's gonna be like that kind of thing. But people like this, whoever wrote this article, are acting as though that somehow being inclusive somehow means it's going to destroy creativity. Like that doesn't make any sense, like at all. Okay, like the one of the earliest examples, if you really want to go back, back in the day of television, because look at Star Trek. Star Trek was very inclusive. If anything, it was the original Star Trek series anyway. It was very inclusive, and it was actually praised for being inclusive. And it was one of the first TV shows, if not the first TV show, to have a black woman kiss a white guy. And again, it was praised for that because up until that point, it's like, oh my god, you can do that? I mean, nowadays, like, it's not really that shocking. You see all the damn time, but that's besides the point. But you wouldn't really be surprised that this is still continuing in some shape or form. So I mean, the whole thing with being called woke and whatnot, oh, it's social justice warriors, these are war terms that existed for decades, and even before YouTube was even invented. We can go back to the 1960s, so, in that kind of era, for an example, for civil rights and whatnot, civil rights activism and things like that, when it comes to social injustices, racial injustice, or, things in that nature. So this kind of a thing had existed way before way before YouTube has ever existed, way before Twitter, way before MySpace, Facebook. Yes, there was a time that those things were not even a thing, believe it or not. But yeah, even before there was even a laptops and such, when you think about it. Anyway, my point being is that I mean, granted, yes, of course, these terms have changed and modified into something else in recent years. Obviously, that is true. But it still doesn't mean the thing that they're referring to. And a lot of people assumed that even include people from different countries and people who are of different sexual orientations or gender identities or what have you. Somehow it means anti-white. In some cases, yes, I'm not going to lie. Yeah, of course, there's going to be some minorities who are Hispanic origin, like Cuban or whatever, who hate white people. Yes, I'm not going to deny that. Okay, because those people do exist. It's not right. It's wrong for minorities to hate white people, and it's wrong for anyone to hate anyone. Is what I'm trying to get at. It's never justified to be bigoted towards anybody in any shape or form. But to claim that being inclusive isn't itself wrong, it's just ridiculous. It just depends on the way it's done. Are there bad stories that are inclusive? Of course. Of course, there are bad stories that have inclusiveness that are bad, of course, but it doesn't speak for all of them. Like, for example, Life is Strange 2 is terrible at this. Life is Strange 2 is attempting to be exclusive, but it's terrible. And then there's also that video game, but also TV's like the reboot of Vilma or even a Santa's Inc. They also attempt to be inclusive, but it's horrible. They're just horribly done. Again, I'm not denying stories like these exist because they clearly do. DC is guilty. The DC superhero comics is guilty of this. Marvel comics is also guilty of this for making horrible, terrible representation in their comics. I'll get on that case too because bad representation is just as bad as no representation. It's something to get at. But anyway, just trying to act as that having representation that alone is somehow a bad idea. No, that's ridiculous. It just depends on the execution. I mean, yes, if you want to make something political, that's fine. That in itself doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing, really, like at all. But I'm not gonna say that every story needs to be diverse. No, not every story. Absolutely not every single story in existence. No, it just depends on the story. Really, it depends what you're trying to aim for. Obviously, but trying to claim that it ruined modern television, that's ridiculous. That doesn't make any sense. That's just an exaggeration right there when you think about it. But just want to make a comment about this kind of thing. It just this is absurd when you think about it. Because oh no, God forbid, there are other people in the world that exist. Oh no, that's so evil. But acting as though that there was some kind of change in the current price Prime membership, like YouTube, like not YouTube. It was oh yeah, Amazon Prime or something. Or any thing like that. Like the the article does bring up the Amazon Prime customers or subscribers, as they would call it, receive an email on June 3rd warning that them they were starting on February 5th that Prime Video movies on television shows will have limited advertisements and no action is required from their end. But there's also no change in the current pricing apparently when it comes to like Prime memberships or whatever, and be having like this offer you ad free option for an additional $2.99 per month. So, which yes, the article I showed earlier does bring up. So, what's the problem really? I mean, I don't pay for that kind of thing, so I really don't care. To be honest with you, but there's also the whole thing with Disney Plus sending out this kind of supposedly unnecessarily to the media, where the Disney Plus in the UK will include a entire ad support subscription plan and whatnot. I guess this would go on to any other services in some ways. So, what does this have to do with diversity? I don't know. I have no idea what any of this has to do with anything. Uh, so Disney Plus and Amazon Prime or whatever thing that may need some kind of pricing for your subscription. It's not like having Tubi. Tubi, you don't have to have an account on there if you don't want. I mean, you can; it's optional. But yes, even places like Tubi will have ads running, but you have to get the money somehow because you can join Tubi if you want or not. You can just not have an account there and still watch movies if you want to or watch shows. Ugh. So yeah, there's plenty of other streaming services available. Is what I'm getting at. There's plenty. There's also Discovery Plus as well. Discovery Plus exists, but what does any of this have to do with anything? I'm confused here. This is just bizarre. Anyway, okay, never mind all that. Okay, never mind going to streaming services and getting whatever. Never mind that. Okay, you don't want to get that, fine, whatever. What if you're one of those people like me, for example, like I don't like streaming services. I mean, I could use it, I guess, from time to time, but not always. Just do what I do. Get the physical copy. That's it. Whether it's new or used, or maybe a mix of both. You can just do that. That's it. But again, what does this have to do with anything? I'm just confused. It's so odd. It's really weird. So, what does this got to do with being inclusive? It comes to the modern ads. Apparently, they're being so bad. It's just I don't know because apparently imagination isn't allowed anymore. I don't get it. Who's saying that? Who is saying that imagination is not allowed anymore? That's weird. Like, what do you mean by that? I mean, that's also that kind of thing, I guess, which I don't understand really. There's also Peacock as well, streaming services, Apple, I believe, and Max, or even what's the other things? Let me see here. Oh yeah, Netflix as well, HBO. There's plenty of other streaming services out there that actually are competing with against each other. And I mean that's fine, I guess. I mean, no one says you have to go to it. Actually, no one says you have to. But it's capitalism. It happens. These things do happen all the damn time. So that's not new at all. But what I don't understand is that like who exactly is prohibiting anyone from being creative? I mean, yes, before anyone tells me in the comment section, I do realize that what they're referring to the people who are allies of like the LGBT plus community. They're acting as if that the LGBT plus community isn't allowing anyone to be creative, which is moronic. Anything about it? Because that's what everyone else is doing to them. Because a lot of books that would talk about the LGBT plus community will be banned from schools or censored or what have you. One of the cases I can think of is what happened with Sailor Moon, the TV show. I know I mentioned the TV show, more specifically the bastard version of Sailor Moon, the one anime series that was popular for a while. That was heavily butchered for having gay characters. I mean, it wasn't the only reason, obviously, but it was one of the primary reasons. Not the only one, but one of anyway. That was heavily butchered. Pokemon was butchered. Dragon Ball was butchered. The Power Rangers were butchered. And there was there was a whole thing with the Dragon Age because that was criticized for having gay characters. And then that the one video game, and then also I'm not going to forget about Dragon Ball Z. Dragon Ball Z was also butchered as well. But there's that as well. I don't know. I just don't get it. Lot of this censorship was on some video games or TV shows or anime or whatever because it would be inclusive. Maybe it's too violent. Maybe it's too sexy or something. I don't know. It's just something that they found to be disagreeing with for whatever absurd reason. So if there's anybody that's censoring anything, it's not the straight people who'll be doing that. Am I saying every straight person like this? Obviously not. You just, of course, there's gonna be some shitbags in every group. That happens in every group. Or sometimes say earlier, there's some shitbags in every group. Unfortunately, just I don't know. This doesn't make any sense like at all. But anyway, just trying to wrap things up here because it's just ridiculous. I know this is going to be already a fairly lengthy video, so I do appreciate anybody for watching. But anyway, apparently the TV industry, when it comes to TV shows or whatever, is trying to make up for it with some ill-informed opinion and that has a slight uh, thing or whatever for a certain group. So, in other words, again, apparently the TV shows are losing money for being inclusive. Well, that's just flat out dumb. What's the evidence in that? That's another thing I will hear is that TV show. It doesn't matter what specific TV show, just any TV show that'll be inclusive somehow means they're gonna lose money. Just by doing that somehow, but just by doing that means they will lose money. What does that even mean? It just what does that even mean? Somehow having a gay character or having a Hispanic character or having like an Asian character or whatever or whatnot, somehow the show is going to lose money. So they're going to use these ads to make up for it. So they can get some revenue, get the money back. I know the one TV show, The Lord of the Rings, got some backlash for being inclusive or whatever, which I've never seen, by the way. I've seen the movies. I actually like the movies, actually. But for the TV show that was released, I know that there was a huge backlash, of course, which I can't really say an opinion on it because I haven't seen it. But I was just bringing up the fact that that has happened, being some backlash, of course. And yes, so there's a whole thing, of course, with a race swap with Cleopatra, Queen Cleopatra, her name was. And yes, of course, that's stupid. I mean, yes, she was always an Egyptian. There was always proof that she was an Egyptian, and then she was not black at all. I mean, those people, of course, are morons because you can't just take an existing historic figure and just twist things around and just modify it to your liking. That's idiotic. You can't just look in the past with a modern lens. That doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make you the biased individual, which is insulting anyway. Because okay, to begin with, nobody said that you couldn't have any African queens in a TV show. If you want that, be my guest. Go ahead. You can do that. Just don't be lazy about it. You just do the whole race swapping thing with that historic vehicle just for namesake. That's all this is. It's just namesake. There's plenty of African queens, kings, or whatever, princesses and whatnot. You just have to do your homework. Okay, it's just like you just don't want to do the work. So a lot of these people just want to act as if that you want to be inclusive. Apparently, it's gonna be the same thing as being lazy as that. Then again, no. It just depends how it's done. I mean, yes, there should be more to the character than their sexual orientation. There should be more to the character than their political leaning. There should be more to the character than the color of skin. Obviously, of course, it should be make the character three dimensional. There should be more to the character than their gender identity. Obviously, it just depends on how it's done. Anyway, that'll be it, folks. I guess rant over. It's just me complaining and bitching and moaning about some stupid shit as usual. Until next time, see ya. Oh yeah, later. He was fucking stupid. I swear to God.